Because every athlete deserves to be treated like a pro. Henry Ford Sports Medicine.
Talking about finances can be confusing, difficult, scary, murky even. But it doesn't have to be with Money Mentor by Michigan First Credit Union on your side. More than 90 years ago, Michigan First was founded on the principle of putting education first. Today, Money Mentor continues that tradition because affording the lifestyle you want isn't always easy. Check us out at MichiganFirstMoneyMentor.com or follow us on social media for tips, tricks, blogs, and videos today.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Blue Devils Stadium here on the campus of Lawrence Tech University for today's women's soccer matchup between your Lawrence Tech Blue Devils and the Lourdes University Grey Wolves. I'm Alex Johnson here, along with my partner here today, John Snow. And John, the Blue Devils are coming into today's game with a lot of momentum on their side after picking up a huge 4-1 victory over Rochester Wednesday afternoon to go 2-3 and 2 overall and 1-0-1 in WAC play.
Yeah, no, definitely. That bounce-back victory was key because after talking with Coach Andy Richards, they needed that victory, especially after how they started against Indiana Tech, settling for a tie, but he believes that this team should have taken that game. So it was really a great bounce-back for them. They got 4 goals overall in that game, and he knows this Lourdes team very well. He knows the coaching status, the entire overall status of the team. They know that when Lourdes comes into LTU or when they go over there, it's going to be a tough contest no matter how the season's going for them.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Lourdes comes in today 3-1-3 overall, 1-1-0 in WAC play. They lost 2-0 to Northwestern Ohio Wednesday night back at their home place in Sylvania. You mentioned Coach Richards said they are a very good program. They have some talented pieces and play together as a unit, which makes them stand out over other teams across this conference. They're coached by Jackie Phillips in her 8th season and looks to guide them in the right direction when it comes down to the end of the season with the WAC playoffs on the line. Take a look at the starting goalkeepers here for both of these teams. For the Grey Wolves, it's going to be the sophomore at 5'6" out of Romeo, Michigan, Emily Roger, who started every game so far for the Grey Wolves. She was the defending WAC Defensive Player of the Week, had a shutout win against Cornerstone last Saturday, and she let up 2 goals and had 3 saves in that game in the loss to Northwestern Ohio. And for the Blue Devils, it's going to be the sophomore at 5'4" out of Brighton as the Blue Devils get the ball first to start off. It's going to be Sydney Scherstein. She's been the sophomore leader in that for the Blue Devils. Had some time with Gabby Nelson, who got the start over the last few games, but she's getting the nod behind the pipes here this afternoon.
Yeah, Scherstein coming in. This is only her 3rd start overall, and Gabby Nelson's gotten a handful of time in that goal thus far. But it's a contest. It's through their training, in which Andy Richards says that it's through their training. Who does it the most and who does it at best, that's who gets the nod the very next game.
It's going to be interesting to see here as the Grey Wolves get it deep into Blue Devil territory. And the ball here is Kayla Dillinger. That ball goes out of play. Going to be a goal kick coming for the Blue Devils. Yeah, I mentioned only her 3rd start in goals. There's nursing major out of Brighton. Has a lot of good footwork and a good distributor behind the net.
Now, just talking about the overall depth of this team that Andy Richards said, despite it's been a constant battle between Scherstein and Gabby Nelson, that they still have 2 really talented freshman goalkeepers on the bench that are just ready to come in at any time. And just the overall depth of the bench, they have a lot of brand new faces, a lot of brand new freshman class. They're just ready to come out at any time. So it's a lot of options for Andy Richards to have. Yeah,
that's really good to have some players that you can rely on off the bench and have a deep rotation. It's very crucial come playoff time. As the Blue Devils look at a throw in. Looks like it'd be one of the captains throwing it in. Coming in here is Dela Jarofsik. As it takes a couple of hops over. Approaching 2 minutes into this contest. Lourdes takes it away. Good kick by the senior forward, Chloe Schaefer. This was going to go rolled out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for the Blue Devils. That's Cassidy Weist with the throw-in.
Yeah, Cassidy Weist, one of the seniors, one of the very few seniors of this entire squad. They had a good variety of seniors with the team last year, and they had a couple of seniors coming back this year, and Weist being one of them, and also Deanna Hill. Despite she's not named one of the captains, Cassidy Weist is definitely a leader amongst all of them.
And she's been a good key player for her time here as senior defenseman out of Rochester Hills. Went to Notre Dame Prep, a very good program. over there. As the Grey Wolves have it, but a good play by Jurafsik to try to clear it away. Goes near the 35. Looking for Malia May. Sophomore forward for LTU. Takes a couple of hops into Lorudes territory. Abigail Gray over now. Here comes Deanna Hill. And it gets kicked away. And I was going to say it was off of LTU. Nice takeaway that time. The freshman defenseman out of New Lenox, Illinois, Zoe Trout.
Now, good play set up right there by the Blue Devils. First Bridget Finneron handed it off to Deanna Hill. And then Deanna Hill just got a little bit away from her. And
Looked like they bounced off of Emmy Roger.
yeah, it did.
And it's going to be a corner kick.
Unfortunate right there. Tried to get the bounce up, but just went right off the fingertips and out of bounds. So this is a huge opportunity right here for LTU on this corner.
Going to be, look like that's Michaela Waranakis, sophomore midfielder out of Livonia Stevenson. Going to be taking the corner kick on the left side. It's a good distance on it. It goes to the other side. No one's really there. That's going to be a goal kick for Lourdes. They got lucky that time.
Yeah, that ball managed to go through all that traffic without being touched. So
after the misplay by Roger, now Lourdes taking it the other way. Good stop by the Blue Devils. It's Bridget Finneran. An opportunity in net. Roger there to scoop it up.
really great pressure shown right there. This is what LTU wants to do right here. Is able to add pressure right out of the gate and force Lourdes to really try to work it out and get that ball on the opposite side. And a really nice takeaway. Almost resulted in a goal right there.
Now that's what they did early on in the game against Rochester. Got the early momentum, scored in the first few minutes, and really took control on that game. Because Rochester, they were coming in with a better record, but that didn't phase LTU, and as that one goes out of play. Now, winning on the road is so much different than winning at home, and getting that momentum swing your way.
No, definitely. And no matter what the landscape is, the environment is, just getting that first goal is so huge and so important. It really sets the tone throughout the rest of the game. Whoever gets that upper hand first really has a high enough percentage to win the rest of the game.
Yeah, you want to be able to start off on the right foot, and then it's difficult when you're behind. A free kick taken that time by Carly Hillman of Lourdes. Over 6 minutes into this contest. That one goes to the left that time by senior forward out of Toledo, Abigail Mann. Mann, a marketing major. Led the team with 17 points and 6 goals last season for the Grey Wolves. Had a bright season last year. One of the senior leaders for Coach Phillips' squad. Here comes Finneran at midfield. Has 2 Blue Devils down. Look like that's Jessica Koji, but they're going to call offsides on LTU.
Just got a little bit too far right up there. It seemed like she had pretty good control of it, knowing how far she could go with it.
Lourdes, another chance. It down to Trout. Looking for Dillinger, but taken away. Good read that time by Jaden Conrad of the Blue Devils. A sophomore defenseman. Goes back around to the Blue Devils. More defenseman out of Clarkston is Conrad. Here comes Jurafsik. Looking to create some space and find openings in the Lourdes D. Looks like a little shove off of Koji. Looked like tripped up that time, trying to see who that was. That looks like Yeah, that looks like Schaefer. She ran over.
Yeah, Coach, a little bit rough right there on the shove. You always try to want to play aggressive within these soccer contests, but yet again, you still got to be cautious as to how hard you really want to go in.
And that one goes out of play behind the benches. Lorudes will get a throw in right around midfield near about the 45. And they're moving back. It's Kim Nagel, fifth-year senior out of Oregon, Ohio. Was a transfer from Tiffin University in Division II in the GMAC. Koji was looks like she was looking for Hill that time, but a foot on it by the Lords. Played that time by Mann. That one down, going to the right. Kicking that out of play is Dillinger. Going to be a goal kick for LTU. And over 9 minutes into this first half. Still even at 0 apiece.
Now, and going back to that game against Rochester, and one thing that really stood out to Andy Richards was basically how well the midfield played throughout the entire contest. And we're looking to see just how good that midfield can play against a really tough Lords team here tonight.
Malia May got pushed down by Hellman. And that was a key thing in that with the midfield being really strong, and especially in that kind of situation. And able to play really good and solid throughout. So here comes Wiest. Lost the handle of the ball. Can't get it back as it's taken away by Gianna Salatino. Lords trying to create a fast break for themselves, but can't. As Zillinger passed it back over to Trout. Now Jarofsik over to Schaefer. She keeps it inbounds. Going near the corner. That one's going to be, they're going to say she was out.
Yeah, ball just barely got out of bounds right before she had a chance to keep it in. But that's fortunate enough for Lords, because now it's just a throw in deep within the corner instead of being a goal kick.
That's the difference here. Is LTU trying to, they're tightening up Deanna Hill. She was the key leader. Had a great season last season for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, Deanna Hill's definitely one of the key players that all these teams in the WAC Conference definitely scout out.
Did score a goal in the Rochester game on Wednesday.
Just her quick thinking and just quick feet action. When she gets the ball deep within the box, she knows exactly where she wants to go, and she's quick to act to it.
She had a great season last season. Trying to match that success from last year. As we got a Lords free kick. Over 11 and a half into this first half. Nagel on Koji. Koji kicks it out. Going to be a throw-in for Lords. Still looking for somebody here. Decides to give it to Schaefer. Takes one hop. Oronakis takes it away. It was Dillinger that fell down on the play.
So far, LTU has been able to tighten up along those baselines, make it those throw-ins just even tougher, and then just being able to regain control.
Jarofsik to Hill, but they're going to say she was out of bounds. It went out of bounds. Lords creating some space. As that was on the play, Dillinger to Mann. There's going to be another throw-in.
Yeah, another bad break right there. It hit off one of their bodies down low, and then able to go out of bounds still, and LTU gets the ball right back here.
Yeah, Lords looked like they were going to get an opportunity off of Scherstein, but not the case.
They were trying to hit Emily Johnson down deep within the box, but great defensive work, able to let that ball roll out.
That's a good sign defensively. It anchors the rest of the team. And puts a lot of pressure off of Scherstein when you're able to play that strong of D. So Grey Wolves have it. Man with Weiss, excuse me. Over to Courtney Matheson to Jarofsik. Goes out of play.
Blue Devils are showing their effort trying to get the ball into Lord's territory, but they're just struggling passing back and forth. And here's probably a good opportunity right here.
Deanna Hill decides to give it off to Weiss. Looking down, she was looking for Gray, but Hillman got a foot on it. Weiss gets it back for the Blue Devils. In at the 30 is Gray. Kicks it to the left. Didn't have anybody there.
Yeah, Malia May was cutting in front right there. Tried to get out of the way of the shot, but it went right off the back of Malia May. So Abigail Gray tried to put a good shot on it.
It was Kokoji off of the Lord's kick. And it goes out.
Abigail Gray, freshman out of Saline, Michigan. One of the many great freshman talent that Andy Richards has recruited for this year. As we mentioned earlier about the depth of this entire team.
I mean, Scherstein looking to give it away over to Jurassic. And that's a key thing you mentioned, John, with the good recruitment that Coach Richards has brought in. That's a key part of this team is recruiting players. To add to this team and the positions needed. This is just a key thing in scouting, especially to find talent. And that's something Coach Richards has to be proud of.
No, definitely. He is proud of the entire scouting reports that he's put on these new players. He's especially proud of their work ethic, how much effort they put into every practice, their training. So he knows that he can rely on anybody at any time during these games, especially now, I think, with the new rule change that there's going to be no overtime. So that definitely forces these players to force a lot more out of themselves, really. So they are a lot more worn out. There's probably going to be some more cramping involved. So the more bodies you have in this case scenario, probably the better.
Yeah, especially not having to worry about playing, 20 extra minutes. That's a key thing, and just trying to get everybody ready to go. I mean, that's a key part of the coaching as recruiting and trying to the best players needed. As here's an opportunity for the Grey Wolves, a shot, and it's going to be deflected off of Scherstein. That goes out of play. That was a great opportunity by Kayla Dillinger. The two Blue Devils back is going to set up a Grey Wolves corner kick.
No, great diving stop right there by Scherstein. That ball was really close. It probably was aiming for the post or even just left of it, but still a great effort overall.
That's a huge stop. 28 minutes left here in this first half. That's going to be Kim Nagel taking the corner kick for Lords. Skied in the air, chasing that one down. Looks like that is Jules Snowden, but it goes out of play. Fifth-year senior defenseman out of Cincinnati.
Now, so far, each team with a corner kick apiece, not able to capitalize on the opportunity. But now the Blue Devils have their wood cut out for them. This is just a throw-in deep within their own corner.
Same thing that happened a little bit ago on the opposite side. They give it right back to Lords. Nagel. Over now to Schaefer. There's nobody there, but they're going to say it was off of LTU. So another chance for the Grey Wolves.
It almost looks like it was a flat-footed type shot. But must have hit somebody up front.
Right beside Nagel is Man.
This might be a little bit tricky right here. One might fake and then one from right behind.
Oh, Man's going away. Nagel's going to take it. Good stop. May and Schaefer get into each other. Able to get back up, though. So Lorudes goes empty-handed on that corner kick.
And good enough that that ball went out of play on the end line instead of on the baseline, therefore being a goal kick instead of a deep throw-in.
So Scherstein, a short kick over to our right. Emily Johnson almost took it away for the Grey Wolves. They've had more shot opportunities. The Grey Wolves 4-2. Both teams have had a shot on goal. There's our 25.5 left in half number 1. Nagel to throw it in. Is it over to Dillinger with a couple defenders around her. Goes back near the 20 in LTU territory. Scherstein able to get it. And that one goes off the foot of Matheson. Not happy about that one.
No, I think LT was just kind of like playing on their heels a bit. They're trying to get the passing back and forth to each other in order to be able to clear it out. But it's just been a couple of bad passes after another. So we get a sub coming in.
Yeah, Hillman will come out. That's going to be Kira Boskovich, freshman out of Clinton Township, Michigan, coming into the contest. Johnson, good leg on it, goes right into Scherstein, excuse me again. Scherstein able to make the save. Jenny Deere is going to be waiting to come in for the Blue Devils in just a second. Grey Wolves in their own zone right now. Gray thought she took it away from Trout.
Yeah, that was a close call right there. Could have gone either way. Both of them really had a good foot on it.
Oster stumbled there on that play, was man. Bridget Finner unable to take advantage of it. Here comes Cassidy Weist at the 20. Had Hill and May down. That one kicked high and over. And that one over the goalpost. That will go out of play.
No, that was almost a great setup shot right there. Just getting way too underneath it. Was Rosek. So it's kind of like how they drew it up, really. They had a couple of options down within the box, but then they went to the further option, and Rosek just got a little bit too much underneath it and went way high.
It was a good right idea. It was a good approach. LTU gets it back for a moment. Now we'll keep it that way, so it'll be a throw-in. Deanna Hill comes out of the game as Jenny Deere checked in just a few seconds ago.
Now this is what LTU wants right here. Control within the opposite zone right here. And quick takeaways too. Right after that high kick went out, they were quick to take the ball right back.
That goes behind the net for another Lorudes goal kick. We're halfway through this first half. Still no score here at Blue Devil Stadium. Alex Johnson and John Snow with you for the call.
Yeah, Jenny Deere coming in. She is also one of those key players that knows what to do, especially when the ball is in her possession. Definitely a goal scorer at best.
She's a junior at 5'8", had 4 goals and assists last season for the Blue Devils. A mechanical engineering major from Grand Haven High School. Had 10 goals in the fall 2020, spring 2021 season. Had that goal against Indiana Tech last Saturday night. As the Lorudes putting some pressure on, here comes Abigail Mann all by herself, going to strike that one, but right there is making the catch is Sydney Scherstein.
Wow, that was a great breakaway right there by Mann. But even a better save right there. That ball was rising, and she was able, just to lunge up high enough and grab it with the hands. Just good overall efforts.
That was a good play. Able to keep the score where it is. That's their second shot on goal. Blue Devils haven't been able to get any off of Roger yet.
No, and Abigail, man, talk about quickness. She went from one side of the field to the other in a matter of seconds and got through multiple defenders, I might add. And able just to get a shot on goal. This is a good outcome to that impressive run.
Yeah, that was a good play by Mann. It didn't result in a goal. That's something Coach Jackie Phillips has to be pleased of. You like taking that opportunity even though it didn't result in a goal. Dillinger facing it down with Jurosic. Looked like that went off of her. Goes back to LTU. Under 20 to go in a half.
And now LTU's going to have to work to get this out of their own zone because the Grey Wolves are just circling around waiting for their opportunity.
Yeah, they've had more time in the Blue Devil zone. They want the more scoring chances as well. The Lord's defense has been pretty solid so far. Not many chances for the Blue Devils. That one goes over the head of Trout. Gray in a foot race of her.
Now, and ever since the opening get-go, LTU had a good aggressive approach. And then the Lords quickly turned it around on them and spent quite a bit of while in the zone.
And I called a foul on LTU. Ornakis was looking for a breakaway. Snowden over to Schaefer. Out to Emily Johnson from Nagel. Got about the 40. Goes down near the 20 to Dillinger. That was a good play. It looked like that was Jurosic. Koji sends it down. No one back. Roger there to make the easy play. Stop by Koji. Abigail Gray has it. Was looking that time to Deere, but the communication was just a little off.
And I think the communication was right there. They had the plan of attack, just the pass was just too far up. Right there. Just too far up for Jenny Deere to even put a foot on it. But it was a great plan overall, the way you want it scripted up.
Yeah, you had it right there with Deere.
Mm-hmm.
As Conrad sends it back over to Scherstein. Arnakis to Gray. Koji at midfield. Sends it deep down, looking for Deer. Able to get a foot on it, try to set herself up. May trying to get there, but Roger there to pick it up.
No, it seems like LTU is getting a lot better communication-wise. They know what they want to do. They know where the open person is. It's just that the passes are just either getting deflected or they're just too far in front. But at least the communication is there. They know what they want to do. It's all about execution from there on out.
Yeah, just following the plan of attack. It's going to be a throw-in for LTU. Looks like we're going to have some subs coming in for both teams.
Yeah, this is where Andy Richards goes right to his bench and gets fresh sets of legs, so that way they can act upon and possibly go ahead here.
Yeah, well, about 16 minutes left in the half. You want to be able to give your stars a little bit of rest. And with the second half and halftime coming up.
Neela Wilson came in for Jarosek. Lindsay Ramos came in for Koji. And Regan Boyle checks in for Malia May.
Yeah.
So hopefully the bench can help out LTU right here, get an early lead right before the half.
Have it at midfield. It looked like it's going to be out by Finneran. Well, it looked like that was going to be out of bounds. Looked how somehow it stayed in. And now it did. But it's going to be LTU possession still.
Good control right there along the line. Like almost like walking a tight rope.
Yeah. LTU. That was great with the foot on it. And tight coverage. That's Jenny Deere. It's Bryn McGarvey and Aaron Caldwell in for Lourdes. McGarvey, the sophomore out of Meridian, Idaho, and Caldwell, fifth-year senior midfielder out of East Lansing. Sliding down and kicking it away is Salatino. Right there is Conrad, about the 35. 14 and a half to go. Kicked out of play by Wiest.
Wasn't able to get the handle on that pass was Wiest.
They're going to execute their plan here. Matheson gives it back for LTU. He's now over and out to 45. Snowden of Lourdes. Good play by Finneran. Now clearing it away is Warnakis. Here comes Wilson. Neil Wilson throws it in. That's on the box. The goal, rather. That one goes out.
So far, both these teams are going back and forth. They're showing great pressure overall, and I think Lourdes has gotten the upper hand in terms of takeaways and also breakaway opportunities right here.
They've had that one opportunity by man that was stopped. They've had some other opportunities. They've had more shots on goal. The Blue Devils have been trying to do that. They're just trying to execute it properly. You know, the communication is there. You know what they want to do. And it's going to be a goal kick for LTU. Approaching 12 and a half left. Still no score here at Blue Devil Stadium.
Emily Williams just checked in for Bridget Finneran.
Williams, a junior out of South Lyon. Architecture major. been a key player coming off the bench for Coach Richards' team over the years. Actually, she's from Byron, Michigan, excuse me. Electrical engineering major. Looking at the other Williams, Andrea Williams, on the roster. Kicked there by Kira Boskovich. Throw in deep for LTU. Emily Williams. Good for Reagan Boyle, who's into the contest. Ramos. Moving around. LTU will take it. At about the 20. 30 yards from the goal. Williams almost had it, but kicked away by Trout. Gray gets a foot on it back, creating some space, striking that one to the left.
And it just seems like LTU is trying just desperately get the ball down deep within that box, and Lorudes is not making it easy for them. They're playing really good defense up in front of the penalty box area right there. So if LTU wants a chance, they're going to have to really work for it to get deep and get one in on Roger.
Yeah, that's what they got to do. They haven't been able to get pressure on her. It was near a handball. Coach Richards want that. He wanted that from the official. Look, that was off the hand of Dillinger. Well, here come the Blue Devils, and the official will up the flag offsides.
Yeah, but the whole Lorudes bench is on the refs. They're almost saying like LTU did a throw-in, an illegal throw-in when the official pointed one way. A lot of stuff went on during that entire play. Somebody wanted a handball. They were like, this is an illegal throw-in. And then an offsides. So quite a crazy sequence right there.
McGarvey over now the Dillinger. Good stop by the Blue Devils.
No, great job right there by Jane Conrad to step right in, act as a wall before that ball got any closer to Scherstein.
That was a key stop. And again, another one here. Need to clear it away. Williams on it with man. Good job by Wiest to clear it away. Gray looking for Boyle. Ramos at midfield. Deer. Williams too far to get. Roger there to pick it up. 8.5 remaining in this first half of play. So now up a nil apiece between your Blue Devils and the Lorudes University Grey Wolves.
As we see him, Andy Richards going furthermore into his bench. Yeah, these are the key moments right here, especially with the half coming to a close. He wants to get that early lead, so he's gonna use all of his resources to his advantage.
Andrea Williams. It looks like that's Maddie Kuella in the contest. Over to the opposite side for the Blue Devils is Emily Williams. Good run down by Trout. Send that farther back for LTU. Ramos about the 30. But McGarvey takes it away from her. Good pressure here. Here comes Kolodin. Goes out of bounds. Owen Culloden, sophomore forward out of Grand Blanc with that opportunity. That was she was trying to create for herself. Erica Turk also in for Lourdes. Senior midfielder out of Parma, Ohio. Man, get there before Wilson. Goes out of play. Going to stay with Lourdes. 6:33 to go in the half.
You know, Lourdes is just circling around. The Grey Wolves are just trying to piece together to get even closer. They've been in this territory for quite a while, this entire half, and they've been getting close, and it just feels like they're just getting closer and closer.
Yeah, they've dominated possession and kept control of the ball on LTU side of the field as LTU gets it back. Coming off being shut out against Uno Wednesday night. It's tough after being shut out to come back and try to regroup. Culloden sends it right over to Scherstein. She gets a good leg on it. 45 yards deep. They're going to call a foul on LTU. 5:11 to go. Another chance for the Grey Wolves to capitalize in the Blue Devil zone. Boscovich, the distance on that one. Trying to bicycle kick, that was Bryn McGarvey. She was offside.
Yeah, had trouble getting the handle on that bicycle kick attempt. And almost good execution right there. They had the people down there, down low in the box.
Figuring out what they want to do here. 4:15 to go. Anakis is going to take the free kick. Out to 40. Man, couldn't keep it in play. Was back near midfield. Too far for Man to get from Aaron Caldwell.
I'm pretty sure even if we go into the halftime, it's scoreless. I'm pretty sure Andy Richards is gonna have a lot of great stuff to say. Just how this team has stayed in there and how the bench is coming through, staying in there as well, just keeping the game where it is.
Yeah, keeping it where it's at right now, being at nil apiece and stopping those opportunities from the Grey Wolves. In your own territory deep, as Deer is tightly guarded by a couple of Lourdes defenders. Going to say it was off of the Grey Wolves.
Second corner coming up for LTU. This is a great opportunity right here.
Under 3 minutes to go. Arnakis getting set. Line drive kick. Conrad thought she had a foot on it. Goes back near the 25. Conrad lost her footing with it. Up there with Man. Matheson. That's going all the way back to the goal, but Roger takes a few steps to her right. There'll be a substitution for Lourdes in just a second. Still no shots on goal for LTU. Calling a foul on LTU.
Yeah, Andrea Williams got called for a bit of a shove right there. Last thing LTU, once again, is the foul trouble, is especially being in their own zone.
Here's Jenny Deere, 1-on-2. Lost the footing. Looked like she had a breakaway, but Lorudes was able to close that one up pretty quickly. Oronakis sends it to the left. Could be a goal kick for the Grey Wolves. And now we'll have our substitution. Katie Cook, senior out of Westerville, Ohio, comes into the contest. Did not play in the game against Uno on Wednesday night. So Blue Devils will get a throw in with about 65 seconds left here in this first half. Trying to get on the board. Wilson with the throw in. Goes over to Deere. And up there with Sam Gorzinski, who came in a few minutes ago. Good stop by Ramos. Now over to Deere. Back to Ramos. The strike one, but right to Rogers. You like the approach there by LTU.
No, definitely. And now here we go. Lorudes is quickly on the attack. They've been great, these breakaways.
25 seconds left. Taking it all the way is McGarvey, looking for Cook. And the official blows the play dead, offside.
That time they got too far ahead.
14 seconds. We'll see if LTU will push it one more time, but Lorudes stops any momentum with just a foul. And both sides are going to be heading over to the benches as we end the first half. No score between your Blue Devils and the Grey Wolves of Lourdes University. Good first 45 minutes of action, John. Both teams had some good opportunities, but not up at nil apiece after one half.
Yeah, definitely. Lourdes is getting the upper hand on breakaway opportunities and also keeping the pressure on when LTU is deep within their own zone. They're forcing them to try to escape out of their zone, trying to clear it away. They're making it hard on them. But then LTU, I think when they utilize their bench, when Coach Andy Richards started utilizing his bench, they're able to get more opportunities deeper within the Grey Wolves territory. And they were able to get one shot on goal right there off the corner and just able to utilize the bench. I would say just the depth is just working out for LTU. Hopefully we might see that more within the second half. But I think LTU has pretty much played this game even all the way around.
Yeah, I have to agree. Making the stops on defense and the bench coming through and getting more opportunities near the net on the other end, John. I absolutely agree with that. So we're going to step aside for a moment. We'll be back for the second half right here on the LTU Sports Network. No score between your Blue Devils and the Lourdes Grey Wolves. Welcome back, everyone, to Blue Devils Stadium. Getting ready to begin the second half of play. Tied up at 0 apiece between your Lawrence Tech Blue Devils and the Grey Wolves of Lourdes University. Alex Johnson and John Snow with you for the call this afternoon. It was a good first half, John. Both sides had some momentum, getting some opportunities. Right now, still tied up at 0 apiece, and both sides are able to stop the takeaways, and the Blue Devils able to make some adjustments and getting players in the rotation off the bench for Coach Richards' team, and so doing good so far. And Blue Devils looking to try to get a game-winning goal here in the second half.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a good key for them going to the second half is just to match the reaction time of Lourdes, because it's right after a free kick or a corner in which the Grey Wolves are just quickly to react, and they just have these breakaway opportunities, and they're already inside Blue Devil territory. And one of those was a great run and a shot on goal, and I think a shot on goal apiece. So the Blue Devils just got to have quick reactions. And once they converge, there's nobody really left deep to go defense on them, so they just got to have quick reactions.
That's going to be the key thing you mentioned. Try to keep up with the pace here like they did in the first half, as Lourdes gets the ball first and going quickly in Blue Devils territory. And Zoe Trout out there. Out to Brent McGarvey. That takes a couple of hops. Skied back up over by Jules Snowden. Jenny Deere got a foot on it. Trying to chase that one down is May, but Roger there to pick it up.
Now, the Blue Devils have had great communication the entire game. They know where they wanted to go with these plays, especially deep within the penalty box. They've just been not been able to execute, so they're getting close. They just need to tighten a few things up, and they just got to crispen their passes a bit.
Yeah, that's something that was struggling a bit in the first half. Executing the play they want to do. You saw that a few times. This is going to be a free kick over for the Blue Devils. Looking for Deanna Hill, who's back in the game. Blue Devils in their home whites with the blue sleeves with the WAC and NAIA logo. Lourdes is in the road gray uniform. Road orange uniforms, I should say. This ain't the Grey Wolves in their orange uniforms.
Yeah, this is basically almost the same starting lineup that Andy Richards has. A couple of different faces, though. Jenny Deere and Ramos as well.
Yeah, corner kick here for the Grey Wolves.
They've been close on a few of these kicks right here. Hopefully LTU can block it up and then quickly get back on the attack.
And set here is man. Almost couldn't head that one in was Hillman. There's going to be a whistle called against the Grey Wolves. Well, the Blue Devils will take over. Yeah, coming in with 4 points, 1-0-1 on the season. Lourdes 1-1, they have 3 points. Some games happened today. Sitting out there right now as Lourdes avoiding the Blue Devils to clear it out. And get 3 points for a win, 1 for a tie, 0 for a loss. As that one goes behind the net, striking that one was McGarvey.
Now, Lourdes has been able to do this for majority of the game, just quickly turning around. They're pressuring LTU deep within their own zone. They're forcing them to try to clear it as best as they can, but then right there, the Grey Wolves are just able to turn things around.
Yeah, they put a lot of pressure on LTU so far, and any opportunity for LTU to get. That one is Deere, but it goes out of play. Looked like it was off her foot.
No, right there again. That's how they drew it up right there. Trying to send a good ball through, and Jenny Deere on the far side trying to close in on it. Now let's see if LTU can probably show some pressure on themselves. Hopefully do a quick turnaround right here.
Roger, pass it over to Snow then. As they look over here in midfield, at time, they get that one on a Zaraconi. Over to Schaefer. He's in that one down, going to stay with the Grey Wolves.
And just like that, the Grey Wolves are back deep within LTU territory.
A throw in by Johnson. Conrad got a foot on it, but it's going to stay deep in LTU territory with another Lorudes throw-in. Johnson, the senior out of Lapeer. Throws in to a bunch of LTU players. Kicks that one high. Takes a couple of bounces by Schaefer. Good job kicking it away by LTU. Man. Down to head that one in as Schaefer gets it denied. Zaraconi good at stop by Scherstein.
Wow, that ball was going all over the place. Scherstein with a great leg stop at first, then able to be prepared for that second rebound shot. And they must have hit a great wall up in front. Just a great overall defense right there, and great awareness by Scherstein.
It's off ready here. Looked like they called a foul on Lorudes, so Koji is taking the kick. Good distance here into Lorudes zone. Here comes Deanna Hill down with Snowden. Going to get a throw in. Chance to regroup.
Now, when Deanna Hill has the ball in her possession, she always is hard on turning around that corner, trying to get inside the box.
Jurosic looking over to May. Going to be a deep throw in for the Blue Devils. Jurosic heads it to May. Hillman thought was going to touch it, but she didn't. Going to let it go out for a goal kick.
Now this is where LTU definitely needs a quick turnaround right here. Show some pressure and really force the Grey Wolves to be playing on their heels.
That's what they got to do. Blue Devils kick it out of play. What they're going to say was off of Lorudes. I thought it was off of a Blue Devil. Not so by the official.
Andy Richards and bench wanted a foul called there as someone got tripped up along the play.
That one kicked off of Lorudes. Blue Devils take advantage of it. Deere.
Great control by Jenny Deere right there.
And with all those defenders around her. Deanna Hill over to Jessica Koji. Looks over for May. Look a foot on it by Trout. Now it goes behind the net. So Lorudes will take over.
Now Neela Wilson coming in on that one. Just got a little bit underneath it and went high up. But this is great pressure being shown right here by LTU. This is what they want to do. This is where they want to be.
They don't want to be right in it. They've been putting some good pressure on Lorudes here in this half. Ramos. We're now to Finneran. But Lorudes Gets it across the 50. McGarvey. Well, here's that one down, going to be out of play. Goal kick for the Blue Devils. And looking at some of the action around the WAC women's soccer today, Rochester able to bounce back after the loss to LTU on Wednesday with a 2-1 victory over Indiana Tech. Indiana Tech was a team LTU tied with last Saturday night. U of M Dearborn got a win on the UNOH got a win over U of M Dearborn on the road 2-1. It was also a 2-1 victory for Rochester against Indiana Tech. And Aquinas able to take care of business against Madonna at home today, 5-1. And Cleary plays Cornerstone right now. So Aquinas leading the pack with 3-0, 9 points. LTU right now tied for 6th with Indiana Tech at the moment in points. So we got a substitution here. Waranakis comes back in. So any given day, a team can beat anyone, as we've seen right here. Coach Richards said there's a lot of parity in the conference this year. It's been wide open. So many teams have a chance to win any given day.
No, definitely. And he also mentioned that there's been a lot of programs that over the years have had common themes throughout them, whether they're a lot of gimmies or easy wins for others. But he definitely mentioned that every single program is getting tougher as the years go by because there's so much great scouting. And also great athletes just come out of the woodwork, and they just help improve a program.
I was going to take a hop over. Going to continue to talk about that in just a second. Looked like LTU was going to get a break on it that time, but they didn't. As now Lorudes takes control of this one. Here comes Mann. He's had some pressure today. Gets tripped. Does not get a whistle called. Now they do late. So it's going to be a free kick here at about the 30 for the Grey Wolves.
Yeah, it seemed almost like it was a bit of a hesitation call right there. Thought it was a clean play, then almost like thought of it again. So now this is Lorudes' opportunity right here. And there they were again on that breakaway. They've had multiple breakaways. They're just quick to react.
Taking it here is Nagel. About the 28. It's a good distance on that one. Schaefer couldn't get to it. It's going to go out.
Almost good execution right there by Lorudes. They had two players down deep in the box to try to head option. And they had another person down deep try to put it in the back, and it was just missed everybody.
Yeah, too far for May to get. Lorudes gets it back. Going back to the scouting has changed a lot in the conference, and with the NAI getting a much deeper pool of players, you're getting a lot of good players coming in out either for straight out of high school or transfers. It has changed a lot over the course of the last few years. A chance by the Grey Wolves gets stopped. It looked like Lorudes was offsides.
Now we're going back to what we spoke about earlier with Coach Andy Richards, knowing that this Lorudes team, this Lorudes program, it doesn't matter if they're having a down year or an up year. They are still a tough program to beat, regardless of the season that they're having. And that was just one of the examples of how different teams and different programs are just getting better as the years go by. Even if the records don't show it, just the team atmosphere and the team effort will say a different story.
And it just wins and losses and ties don't. The record doesn't tell you the whole story of the work that the team puts in. There's been games on both sides that could go on. The record could have gone either way, as Emily Johnson lines that kick right to Scherstein. She's done well on the chances they've been thrown at her. So coming in, this is only her third appearance. Her last game was against Taylor University a week and a half ago, back here at home.
Yeah, and that was a very tough matchup for LTU coming in because Taylor is having an incredible run to their season, starting 7-0 on the year, and they just outran LTU that entire game. They were just outbeating them in all aspects, and they earned that 2-0 victory against LTU coming in here to Southfield. So Lawrence Tech, they had their work cut out for them facing a team out of their division. So, but it's games like those in which really prepares teams for your conference play. You go out, you find a different team from a different conference that might be better overall, that looked like unbeatable on paper, and still managed to only lose by 2. I would say it's still a great success because you still played well enough to have a chance.
Yeah, Taylor coming out of the Crossroads League. That's a very talented conference. A lot of good teams in that division. John, they're 2 of the top 5 teams in the NEI were from that division. Marion and Spring Arbor. Marion out of Indianapolis and Spring Arbor. It's about an hour and 15 minutes from here. So there's a lot of good competition outside the conference, and Taylor being another good team as well. So there's just a lot of talent, within the NEI and good programs historically, and some of the other teams that might not have it record-wise, but also have a good standard and playing really well and being a tough team to beat.
No, definitely. When you can find those kind of conferences nearby within reasonable distance, you will make the travels, and you will go and play those different teams just to gain a different atmosphere, face a different type of talent level. So you find a different conference, you find different teams, you find different levels of competition, just overall, just to get your team mentally ready for your conference coming up.
Yeah, those non-conference games, those aren't gimmies. And you want to be able to put your team in the best position to prepare for the conference play. And even if you take a few losses, you'll still learn from them, and you'll get prepared for the games that matter the most. These conference games, with 3 points on the line, you want to be able to capitalize on every single one. And it can be a challenge, for some, playing that type of pressure game in and game out.
Right now, Lorudes is just actively going at it deep within LTU territory.
Yeah, that's been the story for them. And LTU's had opportunities to clear it away. As here comes Finneran, dribbling with it herself. Abigail Gray, who's had a great season to start her collegiate campaign, as that one goes out.
No, and that was one of the very true breakaway opportunities that LTU has right there. Finneran just bringing it downfield with such urgency as she had. Abigail Gray just open. That pass was just too far ahead. It's a good game plan, and it's a great job overall if you just execute to perfection. So this is a good sign that LTU is just trying to match the amount of pressure and intensity that Lorudes is bringing right now.
Yes, they are. I've got some key pieces. Finneran and Gray have been 2 very good freshmen for Coach Richards' squad. Playing at a very high level, getting starting minutes. Gray with 2 goals and 2 assists this season. Did have a goal against Rochester on Wednesday. A good opportunity that was off of Scherstein, but goes out of play.
Now another great effort there by Scherstein.
Looked like it was off the fingertips of her, but they're going to give LTU a goal kick.
Great effort. Yeah, it just seems like it.
So about 26 and a half to go. Lorudes gets it back. And then kicked out by Finneran. Finneran, midfielder, freshman midfielder out of Lake Orion.
Yeah, but it's when LTU tries those clearing strategies right there, going person to person, right from their own box. It's when Lourdes is just right there to quickly just take it away, and now they're forced to be put on defense again.
And deep in your own zone. A good stop. Looked like that was Wilson that time. Just kicking it out of bounds. Forcing Lourdes to reset. Looking for somebody to give to. A couple of hops. Kicked by Waranakis out of play. So 25.5 to go in this second half. Wilson. And I say it was off of Lourdes. The result in a goal kick.
I'm curious as to see what kind of strategy they're going to use to try to clear this one out. It almost looks like they're going to have Jessica Koji try to kick this one away.
Getting herself set. Richard, sophomore midfielder from Macomb, Michigan. She's done really well defensively as a key piece in the back. Also in the midfield for Coach Richards. Blue Devils trying to find the opening here as that was saved by Roger. I like the scoring chance there as that was Gray that time.
Now, a great draw up right there. Abigail Gray with great control, getting it around a couple of defenders, getting it just inside the box, putting a good foot on it. And they had Malia May down there along with Jenny Deere in case of any ricochet.
Williams down one of the Lourdes players. And the communication's been there. They're just trying to execute it. Trying to find that one to go through the back of the net. Yeah, Lourdes had that opportunity, almost had that opportunity a few minutes ago. This is still in the Lourdes territory. Deere has it. Sliding down. That one missed just to the right. Oh, it was so close. She was sliding down.
Man.
Roger making a stop, but it goes out of play, and it's going to be a corner kick for the Blue Devils.
Well, yeah, like you said, that was just close enough. This is great stuff we're seeing right here. Jenny Deere putting a good foot on it. Just trying to go for that bottom right corner. And Ryder was there to make a great save, and this is another great opportunity right here for LTU.
Warnakis with the corner kick. Koji sliding down again is Roger.
Wow. Jenny Deere had a great back kick on it, tried to heel it in, but right there behind her was Roger to make the sliding grab again. So this is great stuff that we're seeing. This is the kind of pressure that LTU has been wanting to put on the Grey Wolves all day. And hopefully they can just continue going at it.
Those two very close opportunities. That was Deere. Look, that was Koji down there as well, but Deere gets credit with the shot attempt. Malia May, but good stop by Kim Nagel, denying that opportunity. May to chase it down again. Still has a chance. Kicked off of Snowden. Oh, they're going to be a goal kick for Lourdes. Subs coming in here. Chloe Hess in for the first time for the Grey Wolves, in for Schaefer. And Cassidy Weist back in for LTU. That was the first shot on goal for the Blue Devils in this game.
First really true shot on goal as it just gets almost in there.
Yeah.
There's that quick breakaway.
Yeah, we've seen that from Lourdes a lot. This time it's Dillinger. And he got down with McGarvey. Get pushed around. Not going to get a call.
And that time, he was able to spoil that great breakaway opportunity.
You sometimes see that hesitation if a player gets knocked down, the official blows the whistle, but not that time.
It was great defensive work, almost like cutting in front, just trying to play almost like a slight block without actually doing a lot of contact. Trying to let that ball just travel out of bounds.
The ball goes out. Lourdes will take over. Culloden back in for Lourdes.
Yeah, this is right what LTU doesn't want to be, just having to play on defense constantly. Lourdes is just chomping at the bit.
Yeah. It just puts a lot of pressure on your defense. It makes them more down every time they have to make a stop deep in their own territory.
Foul was called there, and Andy Richards couldn't believe that one.
He's not been happy with some of the calls.
Yeah, Andrew Williams was just trying to get possession of the ball, and it was like she got called for a bit of a shove. And Andy Richards was like, "Hey, she's trying to go out to the ball," so it could be that call could go either way. It's a 50-50 one. It's basically almost all judgment.
It's all based on what they see in real time. In the moment. But the Blue Devils get a nice stop. Good head by Koji. By Williams. And back over to Jurosic. Now to Koji again. Gets a good leg on it. Over to May. And back to the 50. Jurosic. Getting a foot on it is Hess intercepting it. Matheson right over to Snowden. A good play by Warnakis. Looking for Deer. Setting it up with a strike off the back of Hillman. That's a good denial by the junior defenseman out of Warren, Ohio.
No, that was a great draw up right there. Jenny Deer coming in on the near side. Just looking right there. They had Emily Williams down low.
It just ricocheted off the back of Hillman. Deer was wide open. She had her own position.
Yeah, but as Roger closed in that corner, not a lot of room to put a good shot on it.
So under 18 minutes to go. Still knotted up at 0 apiece. We do got a sub. Deanna Hill comes back in for May. Roger looks to clear it away, but goes right to Hill. And down to the 40. As Koji in it with McGarvey. Throw in for LTU. Deer. With the Hill now to Emily Williams. That one goes into the stands. Carly Hillman.
Now, this is great showing right here. This is what LTU wants to do. Spend a good quality amount of time in the Lourdes territory.
Deer. Attempt off the bar. That one off the top bar of the net, the crossbar. Oh, so close.
Wow. And not only that, on the way down, that ball just bounced barely over the head of Cassidy Weist.
That too. Oh, Very close.
You could not put it any closer than that. First, the shot off the top crossbar, and then the unfortunate bounce that goes over the head of Weist. I would consider Lorudes to be lucky that that was not headed in, or nor just knocked in off that top crossbar.
Oh, man, I don't know how that didn't go in.
Everybody here in attendance was in shock.
Oh, still 0-0 here. But here comes Lorudes. Trying to break away again. Matheson kicks it out. It's a smart move.
Smart, considerate move. Now that Lorudes, again, quickly, they're just right back on the attack. Right after LTU just gets a good enough opportunity, as good as that can get, Lorudes is just right back on the other side of the field. They've been doing this all game long.
Yeah, they just go quickly at it. They like playing up tempo. So I got 15 minutes left. This crucial stretch of the game. Signing into Deer with Salatino. They're going to come back. Roger clears it away. And they're going to stop the clock. They're going to 14:32. And Koji.
They're waiting for the game clock to stop. They might have to put it back a couple of seconds. And there is the yellow card. Yeah, Jessie Koji, she's one of those hard players that she's not afraid of going in, especially on the attack style, trying just to get possession of the ball. And that's like the second time she's been called for that kind of a hard foul. This one's a little bit harder, just trying to cut in front, and just end up tripping up, and therefore getting the yellow card right there.
Yeah, that's a tough call for the Blue Devils. Just trying to play defense, but on the free kick, Hillen, that goes out of play. It's going to be a goal kick here.
So fortunately for LTU, that one resulted in nothing. But now they got to try to get this cleared away again.
Coach is going to take it this time again. Reagan Boyle back in for LTU. Lorudes able to get a foot on it again. They're just right there off the goal kick. Koji able to send it down the field. Deanna Hill there, but Snowden right over. That one goes out again. Lorudes takes possession.
Nope, good breakaway opportunity right there. Koji able to get control and send it down in there for Deanna Hill to try to get a chance on it. So hopefully LTU can get a quick turnaround right here, as Lorudes is going to try to get this out of their own zone.
And well, 13 minutes left in this contest. Still a draw here for the moment. Oronakis goes into Nagel. And their Blue Devils will be back here at home Wednesday night. They'll take on Siena Heights at 7 p.m. before going on the road next Saturday out of Concordia. So the next few matchups for your Blue Devils. Deer has it in the corner with a couple defenders. Abigail Gray has it. Back to Deer. Good clear away by the Grey Wolves.
Try to hit Abigail Gray one more time. It's a great draw plan. Right now, Lorudes is quickly on the attack.
Yeah, back over. One down. Back over to Conrad. Now Jurassic. Now Lorudes has a Chloe Hess with a stop by Sydney Scherstein. What a dive and what a stop.
Boy, Scherstein really bailed out her team right there. There was a bit of miscommunication between Koji and looked like Jurosek as who was going to try to clear that ball out. And that gave the opportunity right there to Hess.
Yeah, that was
to give a shot
Hess
on
that time. Yeah.
So no, that miscommunication almost right there, almost bit the Blue Devils, but right there was Scherstein to bail them out.
She's been keeping this team in it. Oh, they're a fourth shot on goal for the Grey Wolves on that play.
No, and Scherstein, she leads by example, and she has the right attitude. That's almost one of the reasons why she is one of those leading captains for the goalkeeping position.
Deer heads it up in the air. Roger able to make the play. Yeah, she's worked a lot with last season's goalkeeper, Rebecca Amandaz, who was a great goalkeeper in her time at LTU and was a leader last season behind the pipes. She learns a lot from her. Some of the techniques that made her great. And when you're able to have that, she was right there with her last season, coming in as a freshman.
And still is learning today as she is now one of the goalkeeping coaches of this entire squad. And that's a good thing to see. When your former players come back and now are added as members of the coaching staff, it kind of puts off a lot of pressure to the main coaching staff. You have players that know the routines, they know the program, they know the system. So when you can have players come back as added coaches, it just makes the process a lot easier and more fluent.
Yeah, able to have players like that who know the system, and able to even recent players that know the teammates well from last season coming back, and also mentoring the new players to play the LTU style of play.
No, and that also allows the coaching staff to go out and have more opportunities to really get better scouting.
Yeah, that's been the name of the game, is the recruiting process and scouting and finding the best pieces of the puzzle for your team. It looks like we got another corner kick, this time for Lorudes. They've had a lot of those opportunities today.
Plenty of those, and they just seem to be getting closer on them. But going back to it, that addition to the coaching staff can allow you to go even deeper in certain positions on your entire roster.
Kicked up in the air and around. And on the ground that time, Scherstein coming through in the clutch once again.
She's right there to bail out her team. Because Lorudes has been putting on so much pressure the entire game. Scherstein's been able to do it all herself, just be able to give opportunities to this Blue Devil team to try to get back on the attack once again.
Goes out of play. Blue Devils will take over.
And with that addition to the entire coaching staff, this is the reason why Coach Andy Richards has now got two backup freshman goalkeepers as well, and he can go to at any time.
Yeah, I want to be able to get that experience. They've been working on it in practice, but just any kind of situation of games, you want to be able to have them have experience. But learning a lot from Scherstein and Nelson, as well as Amandaz, from her experience now as a coach. Get a lot of benefit. They'll be learning a lot too over the course of their time in the Blue Devils uniform. And it's a good system to have in place. Lorudes has it in Blue Devil territory. Johnson, bicycle kicks that one, looking over to Dillinger. Still got 7:27 to go in the game. That one will go out. We got a substitution here. Lorudes will still be on the road on Wednesday. They'll be heading to Medina, and then they'll be back at home on Saturday night, next Saturday against Rochester. So they got a couple of huge games ahead of themselves as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely, especially when going deeper into the schedule, the more tough for your opponent to get. And as Malia May checked back in, she replaces Boyle.
Down to the final stretch of this game. Under 7 minutes. Deer chasing that one down with Hillman. Looks like the play was blown dead.
Right now, Coach Andy Richards has not made a lot of substitutions, has not gone to his bench, not that much. If anything, it's to put in some original starters from the beginning of the game and also take some people out, give them a little bit of rest, and put them back in. So I think he's going to go with the amount of players that he believes is what's going to give him that point to probably get him up ahead.
Yeah, sitting at it right now, with 6 minutes to go. You don't want to settle for one. You would like to get all three here with a goal, but you don't want to make a mistake to give Lorudes a late goal to give you no points. You know, every game is just so crucial, and every moment, every decision.
No, it is. Especially knowing that you have no extra time at the end of it, it forces you to act quickly.
Yeah, it's just a big transition for these teams. I don't know, last season, with the overtime, you had an opportunity to give a few minutes to strategize and create a game plan. Well, now when you're losing that extra time, it kind of forces you to play quicker, especially when you're down. Abigail Gray attempt, sliding play by Roger.
No, what's definitely getting crunch time out to you is acting a little bit more, keeping the pace.
Oh.
It made Roger dive for a couple of these shots.
Yeah. It's a different feel being tied right now than being behind, because usually you would play with a sense of urgency.
No, and if LT was definitely playing from behind, I think Andy Richards would go more to his bench to play with that sense of urgency and get more fresh legs out there to help get them back into the game. But since it's scoreless, he's going with what he has right now on the field.
Here comes Abigail Gray, looking to create another chance for herself. Decides to go back to Deanna Hill. Now the Deer gets it rejected by Zassernoni. Good denial there by the senior from LaSalle, Ontario, Canada. Ornakis makes one hop to Roger, and the clock stops again. We have an injured Grey Wolf down at the 35. And that looks like that's Abigail Mann down.
Yeah, she had an awkward landing right there. As Jarosa made her miss with an intent of a block, got around her, and she just landed awkwardly on that knee, looked like.
It looks like both sides. It looks like LT is going to head to the bench. And Abigail Mann is down. And the trainer looking over the assistants right now. With this injury timeout, we'll step aside for a brief moment, and we'll be back right here on the LTU Sports Network. 3:51 to go in the game. Welcome back, everyone. 3:51 to go in the game. Tied up at 0 apiece between your Blue Devils and the Grey Wolves of Lorudes University. Had that injury timeout to Abigail Mann. Hoping she'll be okay. Helped off the field on the cart with the athletic trainer and the coaching staff of Lourdes. Hoping for a speedy recovery and hopefully she'll be okay. She's had a great game so far. Had some opportunities for the Grey Wolves. And
No, definitely. She's been one of their difference makers. She had a great breakaway opportunity earlier in the first half. Nearly resulted in a goal. So we send out the best.
back to action here with 3:12 to go. Blue Devils take over. Time running out. Trying to finish this game strong. Trying to get one more opportunity to the net. Had that very close play a little bit ago. At that shot that went off the crossbar.
That was right over the head of Cassidy Weiss. That could, if this game ends in a tie, that would probably be their best opportunity yet. This is probably going to come down to the very wire, as in one could be all.
2:31 to go. Lourdes trying to clear it away. Be the men's game against Lourdes coming up after this. It'll be 60 minutes after this game is over. It's going to be a huge game for the men's team. And coming off a tie against Rochester on Wednesday night.
Yeah, Will Dyer and his squad, they're looking for that crucial first win of the entire season right there.
And they were able to come back with 2.5 to go to tie the game in that one. And now they're going to stop the clock again with 1:49. One of the Blue Devils is down. Trying to see who that is. Athletic trainer looking over at her right now. Getting up on her own power. Yeah, that's Jaden Conrad, who was down for a second. Able to get back up, though. Looks like she's going to stay in the game. One headed there by the Grey Wolves. And one off of Trout. And we're going to say it was Lourdes throw-in. 1:33 to go. Down to the end here. Here comes Deere. Good stop by Hillman. Striking that one is Koji. Hits one high and wide. Over to the bleachers. And then it's going to be a corner kick for LTU. Getting down to the final minute of the game.
This is very crucial right here. This could be the game right here.
They got to hurry. Clock under a minute. Herself set is Cassidy Weiss. Taking the corner. Makes the kick. And around. Weiss right behind. Koji chasing that one down near the 20. Has about 35 seconds. Lourdes gets a stop. Moves it back a bit. Clock under 30. Conrad takes one hop over to the left. But that shot by Roger. Lourdes trying to go down one more time. They got 18 seconds. Gray gets a foot on it for the Blue Devils. 13 seconds. Clock at 10. Deere. Idiot down looking for May, but stopped by Roger. 5 seconds left. Was so close, but this is going to end as a draw. Tie game at 0-0 to end this one. Two great chances by the Blue Devils, and to end the game
Yeah, they're a bit hot at the refs right now. It seems like there was a couple of calls that they wanted. Coach Andy Richards going to go talk to them.
And not happy about that. Coach Richards is going to talk over with the officials. Can't do anything about it now. This game will end as a 0-0 tie. It was a good showing by the Blue Devils. They played hard till the end. Some key stops by Scherstein and goal. Made some key plays defensively deep in their own territory by the Grey Wolves, and you got to get a lot of good effort here today by Coach Richards. Has to be happy with this team, despite this game ending in a tie.
No, definitely great effort all the way around, especially by both teams. Lorudes kept putting on the pressure all game with those breakaway opportunities and great shots put on goal. Scherstein makes some incredible plays, and then when LTU had their opportunities, they forced Roger to do the same, made some great plays. Their best opportunity, and it's got to probably be talked about, the one that shot hit off the top of the crossbar, bounced over the head of Cassidy Weiss. It was just a bad break. You get one of those once in a while, but you're told just to move on from it. And this is probably the best case scenario if you're Coach Andy Richards. This is only their second tie. They definitely hope for a victory and just move on from here. He knew that this was going to be a tough contest going into this game against this program of Lourdes University, so he's probably happy with the outcome results.
Yeah, absolutely. His team looking to get back out on the field and grab a victory on Wednesday night when they're back here at home against Siena Heights. So that's going to do it for us here this afternoon. Our final score here, your Lawrence Tech Blue Devils tie with the Lourdes Grey Wolves, 0-0 after 90 minutes of play. On behalf of everyone here at the LTU Sports Network, on behalf of my partner John Snow, I'm Alex Johnson. Thank you for tuning into this afternoon's women's soccer matchup. And we'll be back here in an hour for men's soccer against Lourdes right here on the LTU Sports Network. See you then, and have a good night, everyone.